Hey friends, it's Rebecca here with Frankincense and Fairy Tales, and I thought I'd do a kind of fun video today and talk about some things that I miss about Arizona, things I don't miss about Arizona, and things that I am loving about Florida. So stick around and let me tell you all about this list, because I know so many people have wondered how we're enjoying moving from such a different place, the desert, to a tropical place like Florida, from West Coast to East Coast, all of those things. So let me tell you what I think about all of those. I know this video is probably going to be a long one, so thank you guys for sticking around if you guys make it to the end, but let me try to get through it kind of as fast as I can. So I'm going to start with the things that I miss about Arizona. I wrote down in my book all of my pros and cons here, all my things I miss. One is the mountains. I miss seeing the mountains. I do miss that. It's not like a big deal though in a way, because the mountains that we were surrounded by weren't super huge, but they were nice to see. So I do miss seeing the mountains. But we're so close to mountains, it's still not a big deal. Like up in North Carolina, that's not a far drive, Georgia. So we can get to mountains pretty quickly. And it's not like we use the mountains for anything. They were just enjoyable to look at. So number two are the sunsets. Don't get me wrong, Florida has some beautiful, amazing sunsets. I think the big difference is where our house is located, we miss those sunsets a lot. So just depending where you are, depends on if you can get a great view of a sunset. Like the beach sunsets are gorgeous. We went out to dinner with a friend the other night and there was a beautiful sunset. We've been at the parks, Disney parks, and there's been beautiful sunsets. It's just unfortunately where we are, we don't get to see those beautiful sunsets. And back in Arizona, we had amazing sunsets right outside our door. So I do miss those beautiful sunsets. Number three is quiet. It used to be so quiet at our house. There wasn't a sound. You would sometimes hear traffic from the road, but all in all, it was so quiet around our house. And I love that. When I first got here and we went outside, I stepped outside and I could just hear all the noises. And I was like, I don't know if I'm ever going to get used to this. Now I am, and it's not such a big deal, but those first couple months walking outside and hearing the noises really just kind of like made me think if this was the right choice, you know. So definitely I miss the quiet. The other thing is obviously I miss the animals that we had to get rid of in order to make this move possible. That's something that will forever be a so hard spot, and like a place of hurt and pain in my heart. But we did what we had to do what was best for our family, and so unfortunately that meant leaving some of our animals behind with family and friends, or with friends and stuff. So obviously leaving friends was really hard. We had made some incredible friends there and I miss them dearly. I still keep in touch with them. Obviously we still talk and try to chat as much as possible. And the one great thing about living here is we live in a vacation destination again, to where it's actually someplace people want to visit, unlike before. And so I know a lot of people plan on coming out over time to see, you know, come to Florida and to come to Disney World and to do these things. So I know we'll see them again, and that's comforting, but I definitely do miss them. So I miss the fact that there was really no traffic in where we lived. That being said, things changed quite a bit after we left, and I know quite a few of our friends were very disheartened by some of the stuff that was happening because it was such a southern border town with a lot of trafficking going on with illegal aliens, and that there were a lot of high-speed chases going through our town and things like that, and there have been numerous fatality accidents because of these things. And I had quite a few friends say that they wouldn't go out unless they absolutely had to, because the roads had gotten so dangerous. And we lived quite a ways out of town on a windy 2-lane road, and a lot of these accidents and high-speed chases were happening on that specific road. So in that sense, like, as much as I was thankful that there wasn't a lot of traffic, I'm thankful we're not there now, because I would have hated to feel like every time we went into town that we were putting our lives in risk. And that's basically what they have said has been happening. So even though we have traffic here and there's things could happen, it's still just a different feeling, because you would be so, it was hard. I don't know. It was just different. So that's kind of a pro and a con. Like, I miss that kind of stuff, but I guess that wasn't anymore the way it was. So I miss our house, you guys. Like, I loved our house. If we could have picked up that house and brought it here, I would have loved that. But then I also feel like it was the perfect house for the season we were in. We were in a different season in our life and things were different, and because it was such a small town and there was so much other stuff going on, just in general in that small town, that our home really was our oasis, and we had really created that for our kids. And so it really was a safe place and a fun place for them to come and to have their friends over, and it became a house that, you know, hosted many get-togethers, and it was really set up perfectly for that. And so I miss that aspect of it, but I also know that this season in our life, that's not where we're at. And so the house that we're in is so perfect for where we are in this season of our life, but I still miss a lot of things about that house. So I miss the fall, because here there really isn't a fall. Going up into the mountains, that was probably the one time that we really enjoyed hiking, was during the fall, because of the changing colors of the leaves and things like that, and the weather was always beautiful, and there would be waterfalls and streams and stuff. So I miss seeing that. But even with that, you had to go up into those mountains to get to it, because it wasn't like that down by where we lived. Even though it was 5 minutes away from these mountains, it was a totally different thing once you actually started driving up or hiking up into those mountains. So I miss Patagonia Lake. We used to go paddleboarding at Patagonia quite often. It was an hour and a half drive each direction though, so it was not quick or close. And it was, again, a 2-lane windy road that has a lot of dangerous traffic on it at this time. And so as much, and with how expensive gas is, as much as I miss it, I know it was something that we wouldn't have been able to do like we used to do because of the danger and because of the gas prices. So as much as I miss it and like say that, I know it also would have been the same if we had stayed there, but we have so many amazing memories of going out there and paddleboarding with the kids and with the dogs, and we would camp there. And that's kind of like my next one is camping. I miss our RV and being able to go to Patagonia and go camping for the weekends. That was always something that we absolutely loved and enjoyed a lot. So that was hard. And also seeing the stars at night, because there was no light pollution out there and it was clear skies most of the time. We had the most spectacular stars at night, and I miss those things. So those were all my misses. Now we're going to go into things that I don't miss. The bugs, you guys. So happy. I know they talked about Florida having bugs, and that's like, everybody's like, oh, you got to have a screened-in porch. You got to, oh my gosh. I don't know if it's just where we are or what, but there are like nothing compared to what we experienced in Arizona. The bugs in Arizona were apocalyptic. Like every July, it would become apocalyptic. And it was a different bug every year. It wasn't the same bug. One year it was click beetles. One year it was huge locusts. One year it was like little June bugs. One year it was like these other beetles. Like, it never failed. There was some kind of bug that hatched towards the end of June, beginning of July, and just wreaked havoc. And it was so annoying. Like, you could not go outside in the evening because there would be so much of them. The last year we were there, we went to the football game, the high school football game, and it was literally stink bugs raining from the sky, like just nonstop. The ground was covered in them. It was disgusting. And so that was just, like, every year it was another bug. And then you had the normal bugs. You had the scorpions, the centipedes, and like all of those ones. So I do not miss that. Like, here we might have mosquitoes here and there, but that's all. Like, that's it. And you put on some bug spray, you spray for them, and it's not that bad. So I don't understand when people complain about the bugs out here. Like I said, maybe it's where we live. I don't know. But I mean, we've been to other people's homes. We've been to the parks, and it's not that way either. So I don't know. It's just not bad where we are. And the bugs are nothing. Nothing. And this is a huge one for me, are the rattlesnakes. So thankful that there are not rattlesnakes outside my door all summer long. Like, I am so thankful for that. I was saying that the other day. It's so nice to walk outside and not have to be afraid to step outside because there could be a rattlesnake. Like, literally, I wore rain boots all summer when I went outside to take care of the animals, even though it would be friggin' hot as heck. But after almost being bit so many times by rattlesnakes or coming upon rattlesnakes, it just got to where I couldn't do it anymore. I mean, we were killing one rattlesnake a week, sometimes more. And it just got so annoying. And it wasn't every summer, but some summers it would be way worse. I had them like trying to get into the garage, had them like everywhere. And so I am so, so thankful. I know there could possibly be rattlesnakes here and you've got other snakes here, but again, we have not experienced that where we live. And so I'm thankful for that. So, the other thing is pokey things. Not everything here is out to kill you like I felt like it was in Arizona. Every bush, every time you stepped outside, there was something on the ground to stab in your foot. There, if you walked down somewhere, there was something to scratch you. Everything was pokey, and I don't miss that at all. Like, feels so nice. I don't miss the human trafficking, and I don't miss all of the illegal aliens crossing across our property. I don't miss that at all. That safety of having to sometimes worry with my kids being outside. Yeah, I mean, we had the 7 dogs, and there was a reason for that. And the protection that they provided, because if my kids were outside playing, I wanted to make sure that no one came into our yard and tried to cross through our property. So thankful for that. I do not miss that it was a small town with nothing to do, like nothing to do. I have heard, they have added a few things here and there were little things now and then that people would try to open up and start, and they might work and other ones didn't work. And there were little things, like I said, that they did, but there was really nothing for the kids to do. They had a bowling alley on the base. They had an indoor pool that was only open very rare hours, like once a week during the winter time. They had the movie theater, and they had a mall that had like 3 or 4 stores in it. So I wouldn't even call it a mall. So there was nothing for these kids to do, nothing. And it made trying to keep them busy and staying out of trouble really hard. I found myself driving up to Tucson, which was about a 2-hour drive from our home each direction, once a week or more, to try to keep the kids entertained, to try to do things with them. It just was hard. It was really hard to find things to do. And especially as the kids got older and wanted to go out, and it wasn't like playing outside with the forts and, in the sandbox and stuff like that, as they got older and wanted to do things with, their friends, it was really hard. And there was a season where my daughter had a bunch of friends, and I was taking them to the park and buying like pizzas, and they would run around and play there and stuff. But it was like, when it got cold, we really didn't know what to do. We'd go buy a Starbucks and walk around Hobby Lobby, and that was the excitement, or walk around Target. And it was really hard to find things, especially for older kids, to do. So I'm so thankful that we're not in a small town with nothing to do. I hated how dry it was. It's a desert, I get it, but it was so dry. I was like constantly having to apply lotion, constantly feeling parched, skin, everything felt dry. So I don't miss that. I don't miss that we couldn't find a church. The churches there, unfortunately, were just not the best. They weren't set up very well. Some of them had poor leadership, and it was just really hard to find that church community. And when you did find a church that maybe was better with leadership, it would be very tight-knit because everybody had been there for going forever, and trying to get into it was really hard, and that was always unfortunate. But yeah, I'm sad that we couldn't find a church family there, or a church to go to. I don't miss the summer heat, because even though it was a dry heat, it got hot, and there was probably about a month to 2 months to 3 months in the summer that if you weren't in the water, you didn't want to be outside. Whether we were in our pool, whether we were at the lake, you need to be in water to make it through. Which, granted, we hung out in the house and did stuff in the house. It wasn't such a big deal, but at the same time, it was hot. It was hot. I miss that there was, things that I don't miss is that there was no big stores in town. There was no Costco, no Trader Joe's. There wasn't really any good place to shop. We had Safeway and Fry's, and then like a Food City, I think it was. And those were your grocery stores. That's all you had, and they were very lacking in options, and prices were not the best. And there was no Costco, no Trader Joe's, nothing like that. It was a 2-hour drive each direction to go to those stores. So we would go once a month and stock up with everything we could get. But yeah, it was really hard. And that's kind of why I started going up to Tucson once a week towards the end, because I'm like, you know what? I'm tired of buying junk food. I'm tired of buying produce that has no flavor, that isn't ripe, that, never gets ripe, whatever. And so we started making that drive, and I would take the kids to go do some kind of activity, and then we would go to the store once a week because it was the only place we could find something to do and find good food. So, and like I said, I got tired of wasting money buying produce at the store that would be either rock hard and never ripen, or all of a sudden it'd be completely rotten, and it just wasn't worth it. So, and just worrying about my husband and his job. That was a very stressful thing with my husband because of his job. He was in a lot of danger a lot of the time, and that made it very stressful. So I'm thankful that I don't have to worry about that. Okay. Now, I'm going to end on a positive, and that is things that I love about Florida. One, there's so much to do. There's so much to do. Obviously, we have all the Disney parks here. You've got Orlando, SeaWorld, Legoland. You've got natural parks around all over, state parks around. You've got all these things to do. You got the beaches. You've got so much to do that you could be busy every day. And we love that. Obviously, with us being Disney fans, Disney keeps us more than busy. And we love having all of the things to do. So that's like the number one thing we love about Florida. I love the weather, and I know that might be like crazy to some people, but I love the weather. I cannot get, I love the humidity. I love how it makes your skin feel. I love how I feel. It's so different. And I absolutely love the humidity. Yes, it can be very humid at times, and it can be hot at times. But just like when we would have to stay inside for a while in Arizona, we do the same thing here. Or we go out in the evening when it's not as bad. Honestly, they said this past summer was one of the hottest summers in a while. And I didn't think it was that bad at all. So if that's the worst, bring it on. But again, I love the feeling of the humidity just because I feel like you're not so dry, and everybody sweats when it's humid, and you don't feel self-conscious if you're the only one sweating because everybody's sweating. And it's just, I don't know, I love the weather. That, on the other hand, you can say there is no season. It's pretty much summer all around. You may have a month or two or a day or two of cold weather here and there, but it is pretty much summer all around. And I will tell you, my body felt better than it has in a long time because of the warmer weather. So I get what they say about moving to warmer places and this being like waiting room for heaven, but it definitely does make a difference in how I feel. I love the beaches. I love that we are by a beach again. There are days, and even my daughter said this the other day, where I walk outside, and even though we're Central Florida, because we have the beach from both sides, you can smell that salty air and all those positive ions that it carries. It just smells so good, and it reminds me of San Diego, and I love the beaches. And so even if we're not at the beach all the time, you can just feel it in the air, and I love that. So I love our neighborhood. I love our neighbors. They are so sweet. We have some of the most amazing neighbors in our neighborhood. The fact that we have to live so close to the people, I'm so thankful that we have such great ones and that our neighborhood is such a great neighborhood. It's one of the smaller communities. It's not one of these huge ones. It's very small. There's only a couple roads to it, but maybe 300 houses. I don't know. I don't even think that many, but it definitely it's just such a great little community, and I love it. So love our neighborhood. I love the natural springs that we go paddleboarding down at Kelly Park. Incredible. There's so many more that we want to explore, but we have just loved that one so much. Paddleboarding, floating down it, snorkeling around it. It's so much fun. These natural springs are absolutely incredible, and just almost like a hidden wonder of Florida that a lot of people don't explore because everybody knows about the amusement parks and all those things. So we love the natural springs. I love our home. I feel like this was the perfect home for the season we are in. There's things that, of course, like any home, you're just like, but all in all, I love our home. It's definitely makes us feel like this is where we're supposed to be. I love that we have Trader Joe's and Costco close by. Love that. And we're getting another wholesale place out here. It's called BJ's Wholesale Market. That's going to be 10 minutes down the road from us. And it's basically like a Costco Sam's Club kind of style. And I'm so looking forward to it. Just the fact that I can run down the street and get good groceries and good fruit and vegetables again. It's so awesome. And I'm so thankful that we get to be together as a family. yes, it might be hard with my husband's health that, you know, has come up with all of this, but at the same time, I am thankful and I cherish every moment we have together as a family, because he used to work 10-hour mandatory days, 5 days a week. He drove 2 hours every day, so he was gone 12 plus hours a day. And even though we got so used to it and it was just normal, having him back has been so nice. And I've told him that I'm like, I'm so sorry that you're in pain and that you had to suffer and go through what you went through and that you still are suffering from this injury. But at the same time, I'm so thankful that you're home. Like, I know it's so selfish to say that, but I am so thankful that he's home. So that was a long video. Sorry guys, but I just wanted to at least let you guys know what's been going on, and if I like it, since I get asked that question a lot, and if I miss Arizona, hopefully that answered all those questions in this really long video. Thanks you guys so much for watching. I hope you guys have a beautiful, blessed day. If you have any questions, let me know down below, and if you like this video, give it a big thumbs up. All right guys, thanks for watching. Have a beautiful, blessed day. Bye for now.